Hi there! In this video I shall introduce the concept of components. A component is an entity that is created by the user and which we are going to associate or attach the various articles that constitute that same component. This is the components window. On the left side I have the layers panel. Here all the layers for my project are shown. Through this lamp I can turn on or off the layers as I need them. I can also open up a layer and see how many components are already defined in that same layer. When I click in one of the components, I have access to some information regarding that said component. I have here the quantity of how many times this component is present in my project, and CAD meter automatically highlights me the object that this component is associated to in this purplish color. Here in the center I also have some more information regarding the component. I have the title of the component, which I can easily edit, and I also have some characteristics of the object that this component is associated to. These characteristics have been imported from my CAD file. I know the type of my object. In this case it's a block, but it could also be a line, a polyline, an arc, or a text, and I also know the color, the line type, and the block name. Here on the bottom side I have the composition of my component, and as you can see it is composed of several different articles. I can add individual articles, or I can also remove individual articles as I need them. For now, let's try and create a new component. After I press the new component button, I have to go into my project and select the object that I want to associate my new component. In this example, we are going to create a component for our cable which still does not have a defined component. As you can see, immediately after I selected it, CAD meter is going to highlight all the similar objects and it's going to quantify how many meters, in this case since it's a cable it's going to be in meters, how many meters of this object I have in my project. First, let's start by giving it a title. We are going to build a component for the cable, which is an FXG. So for starting, we need to add our first article, which is going to be the cable itself. I click in Add Article, and I click here to open my list of articles. Now I can do a manual search for my entirety list of articles to search for the article that I want, or I can also type in the article, and this will function as a search bar, and it will more quickly lead me to the article that I want. And now I also have to choose the chapter in which this article is going to appear in my budget. So I click here, I open my chapter list, and I click in this case in the chapter 1.2 for cabling. But my component is not done yet. I also need to add another article, which is in this case is going to be the tubing for my cable to pass. So once again, I click in Add Article, open my article list. Quickly, I type the article that I want. In this case, VD tube should be enough. And now in my chapter, I put it in the chapter 1.1, in this case, for tubing. I also have another options. For example, I can change the quantity of each article in my component, and I can also add a variable to my component, but I'm going to talk about this in another video. After having the composition of my component complete, I just have to click in Save, and as you can see, my new component has been successfully created for this layer.